Never hurts.
Yeah, that's true. I put some current status and we just finished the regular weekly meeting. The main problem or main issue is with low performance. What I spoke with PostHog team and Jeff Martin from our side, he's able to bump this to 50 pods instead of 3 pods. It means, theoretically speaking, 17 times faster. And also I want to check with you about cost efficiency. And also in Slack thread, he explained everything. It's not a costly because under the current setup, anyway, they will pay the same amount of, let's say, money for the current cluster. So for that reason, I want to check with you, is it okay to bump it to 50 pods instead of 3 pods as it's now? And try.
Are the pods on our side?
Yes, everything is, yeah, just one step back. Okay. The entire setup and cluster is installed on our GCP resources, let's say locally, but in the cloud. We have a dedicated namespace and dedicated cluster called PostHog POC.
But is there an impact? Is there an impact to have more pods? Because I can assume if you have more pods, you go quicker, but you spend more money because you have more pods running concurrently. But in the end, you spend less time. So net, there's, I think, eventually nothing more expensive or cheaper.
Yeah, actually,
you have 1,000 pods in the end. Maybe split some overhead, of course, but it is not 50 pods is not 50 times more expensive than 1 pod, of course, because you're finished earlier.
Exactly. This is what Jeff Martin nicely explained. He said about that VM instances and pods and how things are done and how it's executed on GCP cluster. I was scared and was taking care about cost efficiency. It's always one angle we need to decide. So what he said, Kubernetes magic, based on the current pod usage, we have plenty of capacity on the existing cluster nodes to add more pods without incurring a new node cost. And don't worry if you get into adding more nodes, the cost is a drop in the bucket for our infra cost overall.
Yeah.
It looks like free lunch. But it's not.
That's true, but even, let's say, even it costs us $25,000. If you say, yeah, we also already pay 6 million, yeah, that is indeed a small, and it's not material. On the other hand, it's still 25K, right? So
exactly. That's true. And anyway, it will be scaled automatically up to 50 pods. That's a maximum. If it's idle, no cost at all, but it's scaled, I would say, on demand. So because current, what PostHog team explained to us, they can put auto scale automatically, but it's not the case for our cluster because it's scale. That's the reason why everything is so humble. It's POC, and we want to save some money, of course. Don't spend it very, very quickly. So this is the one of possible solutions for us, because I checked again with them. Python PostHog library is the only or the best way to do that. Any other option is a workaround, will not play. So that is what we discover, like, okay, potentially this can be solution for our issues. We should try that. I just want to check with you, want to see, okay, how you approach this. Is it okay or not? What is the more important here?
But for me, if we go for 50 pods, for what I see in your issue, then we are done in 45, 54 hours, correct? For 90 days of data.
Correctly, roughly, but yeah, as per what we know, I need to check that, of course. But if pod is scale and there is 50 pods, I can check it tomorrow morning immediately. See, okay, is this done? At least I will check one day of data or 1 hour of data, something small, so I can scale and calculate it more precisely. This is like, where is our sweet spot?
And Marcus, do we now already have visibility? How much days of data do we want to have for the evaluation?
Yeah, that's another thing. Dave said 3 months of data, so my total calculation is here, but I think he can survive with less data. It's not possible. I think 1 month will be sufficient. I don't know. That's what I read between the lines on the last meeting, because I spoke with him, and also deadline is next Friday for this.
With who?
Dave and Caroline.
Okay. So Caroline said 1 month is okay.
Dave said 3 months is actually, it's here.
That being said, I view the balance of data range use versus quality insights as more an incremental relationship. But here he says 3 months, right?
Said 3 months, but in the previous meeting he said, okay, I know he's aware of the issue about the performance, but he said, okay, if there is no 3 months, maybe we can negotiate something else, like small decrease or the couple smaller amount of data. But as I said, if we can scale this to 50 pods, I can try 1 hour, 1 day of data, be sure everything is done. If it's okay, yeah, we can update the status and say, okay, we are able to do 3 months, or we are able to do or provide 2 months or 1 month of data.
Yeah, but the thing is that the reason I said is because if you go for 3 months and then based on 50 pods, it takes 50 hours, which is 2 days. So it is not done before your end of week. So that means that you need to hand it over, and that's not ideal. So if it was 1 month, then we can start it right now, and then by the end of tomorrow, we would have all the data in, and we can close the issue, and the evaluation can continue. So that's why I'm asking. But let's say we need to go for 3 months. Then I think indeed there's no other possibility to bump up the cluster to 50 pods. Please ask also
Jeff,
what the cost will be if we run that then for 3 days. Let's say it takes, you said for 50 hours, but let's assume it takes 3 days, 72 hours to be on the safe side.
Yeah.
If he doesn't say that will cost us $100,000, if he say that costs us $3,000, then I think that's a good thing to go, right? Then there's a no-brainer, of course.
So 3 days, 50 pods. Also, we check 100 pods for 3 days, just to
3 months.
3 months of data. Yes, 3 months of data. But we need to ingest 3 months of data, but it can be done in a couple of 3-4 days, right? So I need to ask Jeff for the cost. Also,
correct.
Also, one more thing, very, very important. I checked this.
So one step back. So if we go for 3 months of data, it takes maximum 3 days of loading, but we need to have 50 pods. Please double check with Jeff what the costs are and to see to which extent that's manageable. And then we are good from a project perspective, or not, Marcus? Yeah, because then we have data in time before the 8th of July, and then we have enough data, which is 3 months, and we all can live with that.
Yes. Also, what I want to say, and raise a question mark, I need to check everything before we move on. Okay, I will check with Jeff Martin about the cost. I just need to test everything before we go live. Theoretically, it will work. That's one thing. The second thing is, I check with the PostHog team. When I try to insert one record, there is a problem on PostHog installation because there is a bug on their side. It's about, we push the record and it's in Kafka, and there is some problem between Kafka and inserting data in ClickHouse. Actually, ClickHouse is there, Snowflake. So I don't have an error, but data is not there where I expect. I can't see it in PostHog. So they need to sort out this as well. From my point of view, my action point, check with Jeff about the cost of 50, 100 pods, just to have the measures for 3 days of usage, 4 days of usage, plus check with PostHog team to fix this issue. And then I need to test everything and say, we are ready, my estimation is fine. Later on, if it's okay, I can run the DAG, and if something fails, someone can just rerun it. You can do it, Dennis or Marcus. It's very simple. But we need to ensure measure is correct and it's fine from end to end, and data is there in the test project. Then we should switch to the real project and say, okay, this is the data for you. And of course, schema is okay for now. They have some additional requirements. We're talking about Caroline and Dave, but that is what it is. They will get the original schema. Later on, we can do fine tuning, but for now, the schema is as it's now.
Good. And then the third one, we need to have a backup because you're on holiday from Friday, let's say tomorrow, who can help
Actually,
in case of emergency. Hey, you say we can run the deck, but if we have an error with that deck, then I cannot solve, nor Marcus can solve. So we need to have someone as a backup. So
I would say, from my point of view, anyone in data engineering team can do that. What is my intention is to fully document everything. It's already done. Code is,
Correct.
let's say, self-descriptive with all specification. Each function has an explanation, usage, input, output, I think it's in a good shape. If something failed, any moment or any part can be debugged and fixed because it's building component. So also I will take that action point with me to create a backup. What I can do, can organize session at least, I don't know, with VED, let's say, or with Paul, record the session and provide all info.
No, exactly. That was my proposal indeed. Please have a sync, a 1 hour or 30-minute sync. I don't know how much your time you need. Do it please with VED. Tell him the status. So the status as of now, or let's say tomorrow, is yes, we have a technical issue that needs to be tackled with PostHog. That's something we cannot solve ourselves because we push one record and it doesn't exist in PostHog. So that's one indeed. Then please check indeed with Jeff about the cost impact. Bump it up to 50 pods if it is not too much. And then if this technical one is solved by tomorrow, start the thing, and then VED is a backup in case of an emergency that something breaks. But that's really if something breaks, right? If there is a schema change needed, I think that's too bad. That needs to wait up until you're back. Otherwise, we will have
Just
some
infrastructure issue, and any kind of infrastructure issue, any kind of issue, like triage issue, nothing more than that. That is what it is. I prove it worked. I need to test everything. Hope it will not be an additional problem. Also need to sort out this with the PostHog team, sort out with Jeff, create a backup. Everything regarding David and Carolyn, meanwhile, I will just create list of specification, will not touch anything. And also I think can provide the latest update video.
Yes, and then my last question, and I look at both of you. Let's say, happy flow. This technical one is solved by tomorrow. We bump the server up to 50 pods. We run it tomorrow, and it is finished on Sunday. Ideal situation. Let's hope for the best.
Yeah.
Nothing else is needed from the data platform team then, right? That's all we need to deliver.
And everyone is happy. Yeah.
Yeah, but it should. Then it's up to Dave and Carolyn. Yeah.
Sorry, what did you say, Marcus?
After that, it's up to Dave and Carolyn, provided the data gets loaded successfully. Good. Yes, there's nothing more to do for our side if there's no issues. Yeah. For the POC.
Yes, but life happened, Dennis, and other thing is what can go wrong, right?
Yeah, sure. 100 things can go wrong, but it was just for me to get a clear overview that are we now covered with our plan, and apparently we are covered with our plan. And let's see. So I would not have a surprise saying it was also already a surprise for me that we need to do this backfill. I thought it was only installation wise. So that was my check question. So the installation is done by IT by Jeff. We now make sure that the data is there with all the constraints and all the challenges and all the difficulties that we have right now. But if that's done, then no action is needed anymore and the evaluation is unblocked.
Also, when I pick up the unlucky guy for the backup, we'll consider who the key players are if something is wrong, so I can do a takeover. Like for instance, something is screwed up with PostHog installation, it's buggy, like we can't insert the data, what to do? Ping PostHog team. If you need to scale something, ping Jeff Martin, just to create a state machine of scenarios if something gone wrong, can be wrong. Is it okay for you to cover that part also as a part of taking over or knowledge transfer?
Definitely, and maybe not a smart thing to say, don't make it too difficult. And we can think about 100 scenarios, but indeed, like you said, if you have just proper documentation, we know who is involved, we will find out, of course. So, of course, if you have some time to do these kind of additional documentation, that would be fantastic. But key, of course, also is that we need to tackle that technical issue because that's a blocker, of course. So that has more priority for me to get that one solved instead of listing down 50 scenarios what could happen in the end.
Yeah, exactly. Just key players like, okay, for this issue, ping Jeff. For this issue, ping PostHog team in Slack channel, or everyone is there anyway. So ping, drop a message in PostHog channel. And as I said, I hope I will be able to do testing first thing in the morning. Like, okay, I have end-to-end testing for 1 day and I can see it's done, or I hope that there is no bit more problem. But anyway, I will do all additional steps and let you know asynchronously about the latest status. I have this current status, so we'll put also for tomorrow. So you'll have the full picture.
And please, can we schedule the session with Fed tomorrow morning? I don't know if that's smart to do because maybe we don't have the latest status. I don't know what time you will log off tomorrow. Sorry, let's change the question. What is the best time to pair with Fed tomorrow?
Probably before lunch. I need a couple of hours to check everything, to know the full shape of the pipeline. Because theoretically it's there. Yeah, we are fine, but still, I want to be sure. And also, I hope I will ping Jeff immediately after the meeting to scale everything. He's in US, so he can do it today. Let's say he's just waiting for our confirmation. I want to align with you about that.
Yeah. So if you can include me tomorrow as well, that will be very helpful. If it's before
yes,
lunch, I can.
Yes. So you can get the full picture and you can support us from your position.
Exactly. So I cannot tackle technical issues, but
no.
I can come along with that.
Just to see what's going on. Yeah. So you can easily connect the dots, all the strings, whatever. So the 2 key things for us for today is to ping Jeff, do the bump, and create 50 pods. Before that, I will ask for the costs, of course. Put it here. This is a confidential issue. Oh, yes. Then ask PostHog team to fix the issue with Kafka for now. Maybe that can be a problem. I don't know. Maybe Kafka can scale, because also what he said, very important things to consider. This is the point 1. And also we discussed about this. And also he mentioned now, heads up for a number of partitions for Kafka. It's only 1 partition at the moment. He can take that action point with him, but I don't know when he planned to do this, because you have 1 partition for Kafka. So the question is, you're able to push everything to Kafka, but are you able to push efficiently to PostHog, to ClickHouse, sorry, ShareHouse, and upgrade to the latest version to get rid of some bugs? So what can happen? Everything is perfect. It's happy flow, but it's problem with Kafka, or it's a problem with this issue about events pod can't accept the issue, the requests. So that can be a potential problem. I would say, I hope everything will be fine, but in case of any problem, we need to ping or drop a message in the PostHog Slack channel.
So PostHog suggests now already during the evaluation that we need to upgrade because the current version is super buggy.
Yes, or not super buggy, but buggy. Probably super buggy.
Well, okay, buggy, but
super
you cannot backfill data.
Yeah, because what's happened?
But did they confirm that as soon as we migrate to 1.37, that issue is solved or not?
They claim this issue is solved in the latest version. We spoke on the meeting, but there is no guarantee. As they guarantee, they said they're able to handle 50 million events per day with, I don't know, 200 pods.
Yeah.
Which is really, I would say, professional environment.
Yeah. That means that Jeff needs to upgrade the PostHog instance, correct?
Yes. No, Jeff should press the button, but before that, that guy from PostHog should send him a Helm file for the upgrade and apply that file.
How can we put that into motion?
Pink, push the guy from PostHog to send that to Jeff and say we have a green light for upgrade.
Yeah, let's do so, right, or not?
Sorry?
Let's do so. I don't know to which extent it can be done today, but if it can be done today, and I think we need to enforce a lot. Maybe Marcus, you can push that because most of the folks are in the US. If we can make it happen that we are on 1.37 by the end of today, we can start tomorrow
with new fresh version.
Yeah, or at least the smoke test, perform 1 insert. If that's not working, yeah, then we're blocked again, of course.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we can easily be blocked. It's black box for us. To be honest, about PostHog, I read on their website, they're established 2 years ago, so you can't expect very stable system in 2 years or less than 2 years.
It's not blaming them, but just
No, not blaming them, but that's the nature of software development, you know. Also,
Sure.
if you consider GitLab.com product 10 years ago, so probably that's how things are going.
Shall we write down some action somewhere, because we are discussing a lot, but
Yeah.
Yes.
Did you ask for this permission?
Yeah, I hadn't access to the doc.
You can see it,
Cool.
right?
Action item number 1. Ping Jeff.
Sorry.
Will you type or do I? Will you?
Type it, please.
Yeah?
Could you also give me access? I don't think I have it, but look.
I will.
Thank you.
Sorry, Marcus.
You're good.
So
I would say I need to test it before I start. And also, if they upgrade it, probably I will be able to run and insert one record.
So your system is crashing again, Radovan, but got the message, of course. It's not only starting, but testing is starting.
I know.
Hand over to that backup. And then I think we will see where we are end of day tomorrow, okay?
So let's have a few things to add here. So yeah, on the first one, asked for Jeff for the pump, the bumping. It seems good. The upgrade to recall, Jeff needs to do that, right? So PostHog needs to send Jeff the instructions, and he needs to do it. Is that correct? Okay, this definitely can ask and will. I'm not sure if he will be able to do today, whatever he's currently on his play, because we probably did this in the last minute. Let's go with the assumption he won't. From the call that we were on before is like, well, they recommend us upgrading, but it should still load regardless. Now it might not, but it's a lot to do before Radovan goes on vacation, obviously, and the chances of, I don't know if Jeff is anything like most people are, whether or not he'll just have the chance to do it today. What if he doesn't?
If Jeff doesn't have the chance to upgrade today, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, then hopefully tomorrow. So as basically, that's I think the biggest blocker that we have currently. Of course, the performance is an issue, but if we cannot even insert one record because of an issue on PostHog side, that needs to get out of the way first, of course. And if I understand you correctly, that regardless of the upgrade, you still should be able to insert one row or not. You cannot hear you, Radovan.
Can't hear you now, but data is loaded currently in PostHog with the current version. That may have been all of it. I'm not quite sure what is and isn't, but data is loaded currently, so it is not completely blocked, to my understanding. They just strongly recommend it because of all the bugs, but it doesn't mean that it isn't. It's not like a black-white, it doesn't work at all, or with the new version as well. I think it's just like some stuff is buggy, but it still is somewhat working. Because if I'm going right now, I see data.
Yeah, but is that the live or is that the backfill data?
Backfill, the backfill.
Then I'm confused right now. Now I don't understand it anymore.
I think it's a reliability. I could be completely wrong, and Radovan lost the latest. I think it's a reliability thing. I think that's what it is. It's buggy but not broken, which means.
But as Radovan explained earlier on, and also posted in the issue, he tried to run and he just one dummy record to PostHog, and no record was uploaded.
Yes, yes, that's true. Can you hear me now?
We can hear you. Yes.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Finally, I pick up zillion microphones because computer is crashing. Sorry for that. Let's go on. The problem is now I can't insert at least one record. Something crashed on their side in the current version. Without probably upgrade, they claim upgrade will sort this out. If there is no upgrade, I need to ping them and wait for them to fix this. Without
Okay,
that,
how were you able to load the other data? Because there's currently data in there that you have been able to load. So how was that possible?
I loaded 2 days ago and something crashed in the morning, yesterday morning.
Okay, so it was working and now it is not.
Yes, yes. So it wasn't stopped blocker from the beginning. I was able to do that slowly. I have 1 million records there in my test project, but from yesterday morning, nothing can be inserted. And it was a black box for me. There is no exception, just silence. So it means PostHog library from Python accept my record, push it to Kafka and stay in Kafka forever. It's not processed to the click house and it's not visible in PostHog application. So I will agree with Dennis, like super buggy. You're right.
Okay,
And
okay.
even with the current version, they need to sort out this to be unblocked. So I can test everything before I move on to the real data and real ingestion.
Okay, let me back up and go to worst case scenario. We'll ask PostHog to give the right stuff to Jeff and we'll ask Jeff to do it, provided he can do it now. We're great. If he can't do it before you leave, we cannot start the load. Somebody else needs to kick it off, or we say we're not going to make our OKR.
Yes, yes, but I need to test everything in order to be sure, okay, this is tested code, this is tested pipeline. I can insert the data. Without that, it's just a guessing.
Yes.
And I don't want to go all in with an upgrade. If the upgrade is not needed, let's do it. Then let's stick on version 3.6. But we need to have that loading issue out of the way anyhow. And maybe we need to push this one back to PostHog, saying, hey, this is the issue right now. We cannot insert it. How do we solve it? Can you solve it? Or do we need to upgrade it to the next version? Let them make the call. And if we need to upgrade it, then they need to provide the Helm, and Jeff has to execute the upgrade. If they can solve it otherwise, I'm a huge fan of it, because upgrading takes more time, more people, and make it more complex than it already is.
Right.
So
right.
We need to have the loading issue out of the way.
That's true.
How can we get that loading issue out of the way? Also because of the time that we have now left.
Yeah, I can ask, but it'll be easier rather if you just post exactly and put it in Slack, and I'll compress them afterwards on it because in the time.
I can ask them because I already put my code here. You can see it on the screen. I will just remind them, okay, what the status, can you sort it out or not? If not, Marcus will do the rest. It's just like algorithm, okay? If yes, if not, and until when, of course.
Perfect. If you can send it to them, I can press on them further today as well. If they really say it needs to be the upgrade, the same thing, I can press on them. Okay.
So
thank you.
I will drop a message immediately, put it here.
Sweet.
Dennis.
So Marcus and Radovan get the loading issue out of the way by pinging PostHog. You will do that, Radovan. Marcus will out of the way.
Yeah, I'll follow if there's not enough traction or whatever the response is, I'll follow up where needed. So overnight for you all overnight, hopefully something will be done. Similar if they say it needs to be the upgrade. Similarly, I'll have them sync with Jeff. To your point, Dennis, indeed, it feels like a bigger and scary thing to do right before somebody goes. Like if it doesn't work, it doesn't work, and they were out, and that's not it. So if it really is, that's the only option we have. And then, yeah, hopefully all this gets done before your time tomorrow, which is, I don't know, 12 hours or so. Otherwise, so what is our, I know we're out of time, but what is is the, do we have even a backup plan? What if it doesn't? Like, well, if it doesn't get solved in the next 24 hours, but preferably like 12 hours really to kick it off, to test it, basically it needs to be done in the next 12 hours. If it isn't, do we have any, are we just out of luck, or are we throw our hands up, we can't do it, or is there anything?
Then I have to pull Vet out of other projects, and he needs to take it over. But the problem is that he's less experienced, also a ton of other things to do. So
yes.
If we can force,
that's the backup option, Dennis. I think you're right here. Probably Vet or anyone, as I said, or Paul can follow up on what I did actually, and just try to do the same next Monday, Tuesday, whatever, and then to finish before next Friday. If Happy Flow failed for some reason or for any reason. But as I said, we will do something in next 24 or 22 or 21 hours for sure. And then we will take it over the last status without deeply understand what's going on. Okay, this is the data, this should be there. There is one Slack channel, just to keep it simple.
Makes sense.
I will also stay and try to provide documentation and this message immediately, just to be prepared for tomorrow. And tomorrow I'll do my best and hope my laptop will survive, because I don't know what's going on really. There is some crazy issue. See, kernel task eat my memory 3.5 times. But anyway, I will prepare what is possible tonight. Marcus can chase them in case something is needed, and it's needed. And tomorrow morning also can be probably ready for me, including what Jeff set up for us and also what PostHog team sorted out for us, with or without upgrade, right?
Makes sense.
So this is the action point for tomorrow. And also this and this can be sorted out today, US time, or night for us.
yeah, and since it was working on the existing version, I will put all my hopes on an upgrade, because for me it seems unrelated that software is working or not working. And of course, if there is an issue, you need to upgrade. But if it was never working, then I would say, yeah, upgrade to another version, maybe that will solve it. But like I said, I don't want to go all in on upgrades, especially not where we are right now with evaluation and the timing that we have. So let's see how PostHog will respond on the technical stuff that we can provide to them.
Okay.
Good.
We are good, I think.
Well, let's rumble.
Yeah, let's do some, let's have some fun. Have a great evening, great day, and speak tomorrow somehow asynchronously. Also, will include you in the session, Dennis. Okay.
Cool. Have a good day.
Thanks, folks.
Yeah, just to restart my computer and we'll send the messages. See you. Bye bye.
Thanks, Radovan.